Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's just come to my attention that I just hit 200 subs, so thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all the support. That's incredibly humbling to know that people want to watch me ramble on about making games. So thank you guys for that. So here's devlog number 3 for QUACK-OUT, which I officially have named it QUACK-OUT. I know I sounded depressed about naming it that, but I'm kind of getting hyped now. I made a cool logo, and yes, it looks like Undertale, but that's not the point. Um, I got a cool mallet on mine, which the mallet is going to be the key item for my game, and I'm excited to kind of show you the state of my game right now. So, uh, let me go ahead and pull up my first map. So here it is in the Godot editor. You can see everything's nice and pretty. I got jump pads working. These things were pretty fun to make, and they're obviously really simple, nothing too fancy. And their logic is they're literally just an area that just senses when an object is in it, and then just applies a linear velocity to it. So really simple, simple stuff. Um, and the arena is more like it looks like a Aztec temple or something along those lines. So hopefully that looks pretty cool and fun to play in. I got a bunch of lava outside. This lava shader took me a hot second. I basically had to play with a bunch of like sine functions and correspond it to time to make it all look, kind of wibbly wobbly. So that was a really fun accomplishment to do. Uh, and yeah, so let me go ahead and actually jump in, and let's go. So one thing that I wanted to actually point out is that on this screen, this loading screen, I'm actually loading all of the textures in the background. And so when you actually like start the level, it won't have as much pop-in, which Godot is notorious for pop-in. So just keep a note in mind if you use the Godot engine. I'd recommend if you can afford the RAM cost, try to load all of the textures in at once before you actually start your game. All right, so I'm just gonna hop in here. I do actually have controller support, which I'll go ahead and use that for this recording purposes. Um, and so yeah, here we go. Remember with the mechanics in this game, I wanted to make sure that you were a duck, right? So we have infinite jumping with the wings flapping around, um, and then you can also glide while you're in the air. And yes, the glide is adjusted based on if you're moving down or up. And then also when you're on the ground, you go into this egg form here. And this egg form actually is going to have it actually has a different health bar than your actual HP bar. And yeah, you can jump off walls like this, so that creates some interesting scenarios. But I'll actually show you the egg health bar in action. So there it goes. The spikes broke my shell, and if I go into them again, I'm gonna die like that. Um, I also have these little health pickups, and these were pretty fun to make. They're just little green guys. The item boxes were also have a kind of cool looking shader on them. And just to be aware, like this is actually not a 3D object. This is a 2D object that's mimicking 3D using the octahedral imposters plugin, and I'm just pixelating the effect after the fact. And I also have like the ammo counter in the bottom right, and so you can see how the shotgun shoots. I have you can probably tell I have camera shake in place now too. And yes, the mallet is the key item, and it acts like Mjolnir. And also, I wish I had it prepared for this devlog, but I do not have any sound yet. I think sound design is going to be the next thing I work on, just so I have it in place. And you can see that I actually have it working mostly based off the normal of the surface that it hits, and so it actually bounce off correlating to that. So if I throw it at the ground, it'll actually bounce off the ground, appropriately. And that was a kind of hard thing to program, especially for the networking side of things. And also have the weapon trail. You can see that weapon trail kind of going around with it, and flipping around. That adds an effect to it as well. I used one of the trail plugins. I don't know the name off the top of my head. Forgive me, but if you're looking to use weapon trails and stuff like that, do that find the plugin in the Godot asset store. I have this weapon here, which is a concussion rifle, which has a bunch of knockback on enemies. Here's the spinny top from the last one, and that one just kind of bounces around. Here's the assault rifle, and that one will get you consistent damage, and hopefully you'll be able to hit your shots. And I believe that's it, aside from the bomb. And the bomb has some pretty nice properties as well. So not only does it damage enemies, but it can give you a boost into the air. So if I go like this, I can actually get an aerial boost with the bomb based off of how close it is to me, and I won't get hurt. Nobody gets hurt by their own items in this game. So or there's also no friendly fire, so that's another plus. In terms of the map design itself, I have this central tower, and you have a jump pad right here that will get you way up here. There we go. And then there's these like corridors inside the temple and this temple arena, and in these you can get some health or an item, and then you can use these jump pads to launch back into action. And there's actually an item box waiting for you right up above the jump pad here. And these are at a slight angle, so they'll actually launch you into there. Yeah, and so that's basically the majority of my map design. Yes, moving platforms work, and this is using a rigid body. It's black magic how I coded that. Just trust me, you don't want to know how I coded this. Yeah, so my player controller is actually, or my player node type is a rigid body, which is not it's not usual for a game to try to use rigid body for the player character. I used it just because I wanted the properties of friction and any sort of impulse forces to actually act naturally, as opposed to being mimicked by a kinematic body. And I just couldn't get it quite the way I wanted it with the kinematic body, and so I had to rewrite it with the rigid body. And so, yeah, I had to figure out how to move up slopes smoothly and how to handle moving platforms and stuff. And in the backdrop, I have a bunch of little particles, and I'm probably going to change that the way these look. These are not final. With the clouds, and then I have a tree line back there. And yes, the lava does hurt, so I'll go ahead and show you guys that for those that want to see it. So it will kill you. And then, yeah, I have a couple of volcanoes in the distance as well. And that's pretty much it for the new level and the new items that I've added since last time. In terms of future plans for this game, I'm hoping to get a public alpha out by March. And, of course, if you're not familiar with game development, an alpha means that I want it to be feature complete and playable, even though it's going to be, buggy and whatever. But yeah, I want to have all my content done, so I'm planning to have a total of 4 maps for alpha, and I might add 1 more item, so that would be 8 items in total for my public alpha in March. But yeah, so I hope that you will stay tuned into my channel, and yeah, I hope that you enjoy this game once it's able to be in your hands. I'm really looking forward to seeing what people have to do or get to do inside this game, and what strategies they figure out. Right now, I'm only going to support Team Deathmatch as a game mode, so hopefully that won't be too restrictive, and I imagine I'll be able to add more in the future with future content. Also, my game is going to be hosted on gotm.io, and it will be free to play, so hopefully that will lower the barrier to entry for all of you. And if you have a Discord server, all your friends, I would love for everyone that can to play my game when it comes out. So just keep your eyes peeled around March, and I will try to market my game and get it into your hands. Well, that pretty much sums it up for devlog number 3 for QUACK-OUT. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later.